We often assume that if something is natural, it must be safe. And this assumption is one of the biggest mistakes we make when it comes to herbs or herbal supplements and medicines. Today, let's decode the dark side of turmeric and herbs like it. Information is power, but half information can be dangerous. And that is exactly what dominates social media these days. Clickbaity content that chases virality, not facts. This is what is happening with herbs like turmeric, ashwagandha, ginseng, or valerian. You have been made to believe that because these are natural, they are automatically safe. And that is a dangerous oversimplification. Hi, I'm Nirupama. I'm a PhD in food science and a certified nutrition coach. Along with making science-backed videos here on YouTube, I also offer one-on-one online coaching. My contact details are in the description box. Now, turmeric has been used in South Asia for over 4,000 years. It is deeply rooted in Ayurveda. Traditionally, turmeric is used in cooking, as a dye, or in rituals. Its medicinal properties come from a group of compounds called curcuminoids, among which curcumin is the most studied one. Now, around the early 2000s, research on curcumin really picked up. Scientists started reporting its anti-inflammatory and anti-microbial properties. And along with that boom in research, something else exploded: the supplement industry. Suddenly, turmeric wasn't a household spice anymore. It became capsules, concentrates, extracts, and high-potency formulations, promising double the benefits and triple the efficacy. But there are some key aspects that health experts do not tell you about. Let's decode the dark side of turmeric. Number one, natural does not mean safe. Herbal supplements are pharmacologically active, meaning they have real biological effect on our body just like medicines. And anything that has a physiological effect on our body also carries the risk of side effects and overdose. So yes, turmeric is natural, but no, that does not automatically make turmeric supplements safe in all doses for all people. Which brings me to number two, the dosage problem. Pharmaceutical drugs is a regulated industry, while herbal supplements industry is poorly regulated. There are hundreds of turmeric supplements in the market and no two supplements have the same amount of curcumin. Many of them don't tell you how much curcumin you're consuming, what is the safe upper limit, and how long is it safe to consume. Studies have shown that most supplements do not disclose the recommended dosage at all. This problem is especially severe in India, where nearly half of supplements do not specify the safe intake limit. Without dosage clarity, consumers are essentially guessing, and that is risky. Let's talk about number three, the risk of toxicity. When it comes to active compounds, be it the anti-inflammatory curcumin in turmeric or vithanolides in ashwagandha that have stress-lowering properties, or the volatile oils in valerian that have sleep-inducing properties, all these active compounds can become toxic at higher doses. There are documented cases of liver injury with turmeric and green tea supplements when taken in concentrated extract forms. People with existing liver conditions are at a higher risk. Apart from liver toxicity, nausea, bloating, and gastrointestinal distress are also common in people who consume herbal supplements. These supplements are readily available over the counter, and the onus of decision making cannot be left in the hands of the consumers. We need more than one-dimensional content celebrating their benefits. We need thorough evaluation of risk, safety, and long-term studies of these supplements. Number four, contamination and adulteration. Because these supplements are not tightly regulated, there is a risk of heavy metal contamination, addition of fillers and impurities to the supplements, and even adulteration with synthetic chemicals. Lead contamination in turmeric supplements has been reported many times, raising serious safety concerns. When quality checks are missing, natural does not mean clean. Number five, no clarity on who should not take these supplements. Perhaps the most dangerous oversight is that herbal supplements do not mention who should not take them. As I mentioned before, these supplements are biologically active and they can interact with your existing medications and result in adverse outcomes. For example, turmeric can amplify the effects of diabetes and blood pressure medications, resulting in extreme low blood sugar and dizziness. Ashwagandha can interfere with the effect of thyroid medications, while excess raw garlic can interact with blood thinners like aspirin, increasing your risk of bleeding. These interactions between herbs and pharmaceutical drugs is poorly understood and often underestimated. So in conclusion, to assume that herbs and herbal supplements are completely safe is a mistake. The lack of regulation, unclear dosing, risk of toxicity, contamination, and drug interactions make the excessive, long-term, and indiscriminate use of these supplements very, very risky. A product's value is determined when its benefits clearly outweigh its risk. And in case of turmerics and other herbal supplements, we need more robust safety and regulatory data to make that judgment confidently. Until then, moderation matters. Traditional culinary use of herbs and spices is very different from chronic high-dose supplementation. If you want to know how to use turmeric safely and effectively, I have another video. I will link it in the description box. Do check it out. I hope today's video was useful and that you would take away some key points about turmeric and similar herbal supplements. If this video helped you, do give it a like, let me know in the comments, and share this video with somebody who might need it. I will see you guys in my next video. Take care until then. Bye.